everybody. Welcome back to Lyle's Friday End of the World podcast. Although it seems we get closer to the end of the world now, but we're still playing with Corvettes every day, which is what's really important. I don't have any new cool products to show you today because mostly manufacturing's frozen everywhere. But hey, I did want to share with you a humorous list of the 7 things you will hear at a Corvette show or swap meet. Now, these are things that over 20 years I have heard countless times. And I just want to, for my own sanity, comment on these things. One of those claims is that their car has never seen rain. Okay. The fact that I have witnessed grown men at a Corvette show running to their car through the rainstorm to get a waterproof cover put over it, drenching themselves and usually their wives in the effort to cover up this car that has never seen rain. I'm going to trust my editor to post a picture here of the outdoor parking lot at the Corvette production facility. Long before your car was in anybody's hands, I promise you, it was sitting outside. And not only did it get rained on, it had snow on it too if it was made during the wintertime. So don't worry so much about it. You are not losing any value on your car if it happens to get rained on. Also, the fact that you bought the car from a guy 6 months ago and he told you that the car has never been rained on does not necessarily make it so. So you may just want to on the claim that your car has never seen rain. Now, another one that we hear a lot of talk about, especially with people who hang around the auction scene and whatnot, is numbers matching. Okay, for clarification, a numbers matching car in general means that the identification number on the engine block and, if applicable, the identification number on the transmission match the VIN number of the car. That's pretty much all it means. Now, you can get into different casting numbers on blocks and diffs and all that, but as a simple shorthand version, numbers matching means that this is the engine and the transmission that this car was born with at the factory. Here's the problem. You see people selling numbers matching engines and transmissions on eBay. Sitting there. There's the engine and there's the transmission. What the hell do they match? If you don't have the car that engine was born with, it's not numbers matching. They may match each other. They're not going to match your car. So you please understand, numbers matching is not nearly as important as the condition of the car itself when it comes to what a car's worth, whether you want to own it or not, whether it's worth showing or not. Numbers matching has been way overinflated because of the auction and because of the NCRS kind of restoration bent that a lot of people have with this. It is not all that important, especially if you're dealing with a car that was made after 1980. It's just not that big a deal. It doesn't hurt to have a numbers matching car, don't get me wrong, it's a great thing, but it isn't the end all be all. And if you're going to claim your car as numbers matching, make sure you understand what that means, so if somebody looks under your hood at a show and checks, I don't have to say something out loud in front of other people. Okay, another word that I hear often is rare. This car is rare. Well, okay, so if they painted a no option, no air, no power steering, automatic 1975 coupe, baby puke brown with a bright red interior, and they made one of those cars, by word of fact, it is rare. But it's also rare because nobody else wanted it. That is the least desirable car possible. So, being rare doesn't necessarily mean good or desirable. I see too many cars come up, especially, people, God bless them, they're selling their car on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, and they're calling their 1984 automatic coupe rare. What, does it run? Is that would make it rare? I don't know. It just doesn't, it's not rare. Now, rare means 2 or 3 were made. And as I said, that may not necessarily mean it's desirable, just that there weren't many of them. So we got to get that straight. Another thing, through the years, you hear the same, my dad, my uncle, my friend had a blah, blah, blah. And that blah, blah, blah that they always say they had, my dad, uncle, friend had one of the Corvettes when their bodies were still made of steel. No, they were never, ever, ever made of steel. So what we have learned to do in our professional capacity here at C&S Corvettes as Corvette enthusiasts is when somebody says that, we go, really? That's interesting. Because you can't correct someone. They won't listen. But you know what? This is a one-way conversation right now, and I can correct it. Other things you hear. I had a big block split window coupe. You might have had a split window. You might have had a big block. But it wasn't built that way because big blocks weren't available till 1965 and the split window was only made in 1963. Oh no, I had one. Okay, that's interesting. Or the fuel injected big block. That's another one. Guys, there was never, ever, ever a fuel injected big block in 63 to 67. Only the small block had fuel injection as an option. Big blocks were always carbureted. Oh no, my uncle, he had a fuel injected big block 63 split window coupe with a steel body. Well, isn't that interesting? Yeah. If you're going to be at a swap meet in particular, and you're going through people's parts, and I've done a video on this in the past too, you know, talking with the vendors and this, when you talk about working on your own car, that means there is most likely a wrench involved, or a socket, pliers. Working on your own car does not consist of changing your license plate frame, swapping out your wiper blades, putting air in your tires. Those are all necessary and good things for you to do, and that's awesome. But that does not really constitute working on your car. So let's just tamp that down and say, I'd like to work on my car. Would you show me how? And I'm going to tell you this great page to go to and watch instructional videos that tell you how to do things like that, and we can get you working on your car. My final one, and this doesn't only apply to Corvette. Any of you out there who are car people, you've heard it. The outrageous claims of top speed, horsepower, and quarter mile times. Things that are physically impossible. A Saturn V rocket couldn't do some of these things. My personal favorite, we had a customer who shall remain nameless, who had a 1971 2 convertible. And he had hopped it up, still had a small block in it, and he did some performance stuff. He was in the military. And he claimed that he was racing a Huey Cobra gunship across the desert and that the helicopter couldn't keep up. Now, top speed of a Huey Cobra gunship is somewhere around 200 miles an hour. I promise you, if you take a 63 to 7 or a 68 to 82 Corvette and you move it forward at that speed, precisely one thing is going to happen. It is going to take flight. It will not stay on the ground. They were not aerodynamically designed to go that speed. So if you're going to make outrageous claims, at least try to keep them in the realm of believability, because then it's an entertaining story instead of someone just giving you the... Because nobody wants to see that when they're telling a story. Food for thought. I hope you've enjoyed this. If there are other things that you've heard at swap meets or car meets that you think should be added to this list, let me know, because I'm probably going to be doing a part 2 of this, because this is all I could think of just in short order. I look forward to hearing your comments. As always, anything you need, feel free to give me a call at 800-886-5064 and leave some comments and let me know what you think. Y'all have a great weekend.